Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. A little bit of change. Obviously, there was not a little intro video, but there is a method to that madness. We're pretty much just going to jump right into the exact moment that we left off, where Dekard's wife, who was once thought to be dead, may or may not be now. Dun, dun,
D.E.D.
dun.
Dekard.
Dekard. It sounds like Rex every time you do that, man.
All I hear in my head every time somebody
It's
says
not
his name
Dekard,
is
it's Shepherd.
Shepherd.
All right, let's go.
Any housekeeping to take care of first?
New YouTube video posted today. This one was about Mythos and Mythoi. One prior to that was on on power tags. Yes. So if you want to check those out, and
power tags, weakness tags,
yeah, all the tags, everything tags mostly. Yep. Follow us on the Twitters _FaderChats _. I'm in a good mood. I'm ready to roll some dice, ready to hang out with my friends. So
I'm ready to ruin that good mood.
Oh fuck. Oh man, I should have said that. That's like, well, how long am I into? No, if I do this right, I can still keep it.
We haven't started yet. We can cut that
out. So again, everybody, thanks for watching. We appreciate all the support we've been getting lately. Almost want to say I don't want any more subs because it's at 69. Nice.
But I do want more.
But I do want more, which would be cool too.
We still got to get to the 420.
Blaze it. And then, but before there's the 420, there's the 360 no scope.
And then we got to get to the next step up beyond that, which is the start getting into the hundreds and stuff. And hey, Jax.
Yo, Jax, what's up, brother? After we're done playing, I kind of want to sit for a little bit. If anybody's still here by the time we get to the end, maybe just kind of shoot the breeze with everybody a little bit. Maybe answer some questions you might have about why we did things one way with our characters, or maybe why we didn't do certain things. I think it would be kind of neat to just be able to have that maybe half-hour conversation with everybody in the chat a little bit.
Or just general...
Just talk and get to know us.
RPG questions or general questions about the game or other games or whatever. Hey, Chaos.
Hey, Chaos, how are you? I know that. I know that beautiful face anywhere. You don't even have to introduce yourself. Like, what up, it me?
Yeah, let's roll it back like 10 minutes in the game. Y'all walk up the stairs. You're looking normal. You get dressed again. You start to try to reach out, and it's this wall of void that you can't do any of your powers and stuff in. Y'all walk through the door. It's this museum-like place with glass cases everywhere and bookshelves lined and little lock boxes all over with different everything from a pair of key or a set of keys to a sword to a book to all different kinds of stuff. Every case feels like a void and feels like a containment thing. It looks like a containment thing. Woman is behind a desk reading a paper, and as she turns around, it is Carla, Lance's wife.
Kyle.
D.
Lance. You introduce me to your friend?
Forgive me for being so blunt, but thought you were...
Why the fuck ain't you dead?
Yeah.
Were.
I mean, I'm glad you're not, but follow up, there's more to that conversation.
I thought you would know why.
The fuck would I know why? I have legitimately no idea what is going on. I mean, I talked to something, and it said if I did a good job, you would come back and live out your contract, but I highly doubt burning one vampire chick fixed everything I was supposed to fix.
Oh, Stella,
Yeah.
she'll be fine. She works for me. No, that wasn't them. Before I was brought back, I was told that you made a deal.
Well, yeah, but I was told it was after I finished what I was working on. So, there should be a lot less dusty people around, I suppose.
I'm not sure. Did you get the deal in writing, or was it just a verbal agreement?
I mean, pursuant to municipal, in this state, I got it verbal because verbal holds up in court. But I was dead, per se. So,
Oh, you too?
yeah, I mean, I probably ought to. Actually, in hindsight, I think we got another thing in common because we both went under a big ball of fire.
Hmm.
So, that's a thing.
So why are you here? And who's your friend?
I'm Kyle.
Kyle,
Yeah.
Carla,
Hi.
Kyle.
I've seen pictures. Pleasure. Forgive me for being so. What's what I'm looking for? I don't know, maybe intrusive or just straightforward blunt, but looks over at Dekard, looks back at his wife. With all due respect, why aren't you happier to see him?
Well, y'all are here to see me, if I'm not mistaken.
Wait, you work for Agent Brown?
4 is a bit of a strong word.
With?
Oh, we weren't supposed to mention that, but I mean, who's Agent Brown? Why the hell you bring him up?
I mean, I think that cat's out the bag at this point.
I knew who
so-
you were with, and it's not unlike him to send somebody without an invitation. Usually those are the only people who show up for that invitation.
So then you kind of knew we were coming, then I'd assume, right? Is what you're kind of saying? You were expecting us?
Put a pin in that real quick. Your dickhead doorman
Right, hey, great minds think alike.
specifically said that he was going to take us to his missus.
No, the mistress. The owner.
You know what? There's got to be liquor around here somewhere. Excuse me a moment. Turns out it's just. Do I have to roll for?
There's a bar back near the door. Help yourself.
I'm just kind of sitting in the corner, just like, no idea what's going on, super confused. I just start pulling out my phone and I just start scrolling.
Comes back with a bottle of whiskey.
So Kyle, tell me about yourself.
Well,
What do you do?
my name's Kyle. I enjoy long walks on the beach, a nice, nice Italian dinner. I'm a very big fan of fettuccine Alfredo. Sunsets just make me feel very warm inside, I'm that kind of person.
Kyle,
Huh?
I do still have a gun.
Do you?
No. Let him talk. He's getting there. He'll get there eventually.
So, I mean, you gotta understand, I'm kind of nervous here, dude. I don't exactly know what's going on. A lot of, for lack of a better word, shit has come to be in the last month or so with us coming to terms with all this stuff that's going on. So I'm a little... reaches over, runs over to Dekard, grabs the whiskey, and puts it back in his hand.
He's holding out a tumbler. It's like, the second you put the bottle down, he picks up, does the same thing. He's like,
all right, so let me reset for a minute here. Carla, I'm Kyle. I've been working with Dekard for about a month and a half. I applied to an ad that he posted in the paper with a background and a little bit of investigation. I mean, different kind of work, but I applied, I got the job. The only thing I really know so far as to what's going on with you is, from what I've been told and just our investigations, which at this point are coincidentally starting to overlap. You're his wife / dead. He woke up
Dust in here, my bad.
and there was a fire and you died. I know that you had cancer. And some vague details about these contracts that are going on that we're kind of supposed to find out who's basically cashing these in.
Interesting.
Hey, your name is Carla Dekard, correct?
I mean, if this helps, and she pulls open a drawer, pulls out what looks like a wallet, and shuts it, pulls out a card and slides it across the desk.
What's it say?
It's a reinstated driver's license. It's all of her information looks accurate.
Who the hell is Tracy Breckner? The lady we were sent here to meet.
I'm not sure.
Because, Kyle, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Agent Brown tell us to come here and talk to one Tracy Breckner?
Yeah, that was supposed to be our contact here.
Yeah,
Or
keep
not really
quiet.
contact, but our POI, I would say.
And what did he send you to talk to this Tracy about?
It seems one Lesnar Selberg is back at it. He is chaos incarnate, and we are supposed to see what she knows, what she could do to help us. / she's a void. I think she's an awoken void because she has more power, influence.
Wait a minute. Wait. No, continue. While he's doing that, I'm gonna pull up. I want to pull out my phone. I want to use my hacking capabilities without my powers to see what information I can pull up as far as maybe like images, or not necessarily on social media, but maybe like birth certificate names, stuff like that, based off of Tracy, not social media wise.
So, are you using your powers to do this?
No, I'm not. I'm actually just using my hacking capabilities, Sans power. I said that specifically.
I thought so. I was making sure.
Yeah.
So you're checking like public records.
Exactly.
High school,
Seeing
that
if
kind
I
of
can
stuff.
find anything, maybe with our connection to the police database, seeing maybe if there may have been something along the lines of like maybe a ticket, a mug shot, anything like that, prior arrests.
Go for it.
So I think I'm only going to get the +1 to this one because I'm dropping off capabilities here.
Investigate that.
I'm trying to, that's what I'm fixing to do. Tracking. Okay, so I'm going to take my tracking and computer skills. So I'm going to take the +2.
Tell me what you see.
Tell me what you want. Please don't demonetize me.
I don't think it's good enough to demonetize you.
That's a 9, my dude.
9. Yeah.
So, with that being
Good one.
said, I'm gonna let me see here. So I'm gonna do they can ask me a question back. But this is gonna be a little bit weird because I'm doing it on a phone. I guess work into it, I guess, somehow.
So, no, you're fine. I got this.
Cool.
So you're looking for Tracy Breckner.
Yeah.
Going through public records, going through death certificates, birth certificates, insurance claims, police arrest records, everything.
Merchandising.
Tracy Bregner died about 8 years ago.
Does it say cause of death? Any details?
Old age, natural causes.
Okay. Anything else in there that may be any images, pictures?
Yeah, there's a
Death
an
certificate,
error
all that
occurred.
jazz?
I wonder if that's on my side. Check the stream, make sure it's still up.
Everything's good on my end.
It's just my side. There is a picture from the funeral home, their pamphlet that they handed to everybody who came and things like that, with a picture of her and list of family and that kind of things. No living relatives, and not the person sitting in front of you.
He said 8 years ago?
Hmm. Kind of sitting there looking at phones like, interesting. If I might interrupt this a strange conversation at this point. So D, before we got here, I did what anybody would do. It's my age and kind of into, you know, the world and stuff like that. And I just did a quick run through on Tracy's like social media presence. I didn't find anything. So I just did a quick go through again. Thing is, Tracy's dead, man. She's been dead for 8 years. And I'll kind of like toss my phone to him. Look, man, like there's the death certificate, there's pictures, there's I don't know why I didn't think to do this before.
Well, because thus far, Agent Brown hadn't been a dickhead.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's a valid point.
Okay. First things first. Let me make sure this isn't some bullshit.
You said she died of old age, right? How old?
Late 80s.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
87.
Okay, sounds good.
If you're Carla, what was our address?
Am I supposed to know? Like, because I don't.
She
remember.
tells you your exact address.
But like, I don't want to be like, she tells you your exact address without being like,
No,
that's something I
that's
should
fine.
remember, because I don't remember that ever coming up.
No. We have.
Okay.
You
Okay,
can make
cool.
it 1313 Mockingbird Lane.
Okay, cool. Just making sure. It was 8217 Rosewood.
Why did you like the kitchen?
What do you mean? Why did I like the kitchen?
Yeah, there was a particular feature about the kitchen that you just greatly enjoyed and would not let me get rid of.
Talking about the bay window?
Nope, because that's not in the kitchen, that's in the living room.
Talking about the floor?
Yeah, that damn linoleum flooring that started splitting and I kept cutting my feet on.
I mean, I guess.
Well, don't guess, this is what you damn well told me.
You have listening problems, I think.
That's not it. Hold on a minute. He turns around and walks over to Kyle. I was like, okay. Are you still freaking out? Because I'm freaking out a little bit, trying to play it cool.
Oh man, everything's great. It's
That's what I thought. All right. Well, I'm 72% certain this is actually my wife and not somebody messing with us. Mostly certain, kind of still think it's a setup.
Wait a minute. Wait. Looks at you. He's
Yeah.
like, so she knew we were coming. She doesn't say the words specifically that that she may or may not have known we're coming, but she knows who Mr. Brown is, or at least knows of Mr. Brown.
Well, that leads me into secondary questions because they worked together for a while. And how long she been back then?
I would say
'Cause
how
they-
long has she been back for sure. And when exactly did they become acquainted?
At that, he pauses and looks at her, just right back into the whispering.
She goes. Goes
I
back
mean,
to reading the
I mean,
paper.
we can have this conversation with her. I mean, I don't think that, and like I raise my voice to where she can hear. It's like I don't think that she's gonna, leap out and kill us. I'd assume if somebody like this wanted us dead at this point, that we would probably be on our way there. So, Miss Decker's wife, ex-wife,
Sure.
whatever this
Wife.
situation is, wife. We'll go with wife.
You can call me Carla.
Carla, Kyle, right? Kyle, Carla, got it. When did you become acquainted with Mr. Brown?
I've known Mr. Brown for a long time.
Can you give me a roundabout before or after you were married to my boy over here?
Before.
Dekard,
Yeah,
you heard that, right?
I did. How long have you been alive?
See, what's it been? 2 weeks? 3 weeks? Something like that? Couple weeks, maybe?
This.
It's fine.
What,
You can fix
man?
it. It almost
Nah.
blends in.
I just realized it on the screen.
Dog knocked it down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've been back for 2 weeks, and
A week, maybe two.
okay.
I know.
Grown folk are talking. Just wait a second. We'll get there.
Kind of fuzzy.
You're already the mistress of this place. Now, was that an all the time thing, or is this a?
Oh, this was mine
You-
before.
Dekard,
I've always been the mistress of this establishment.
Well, hell, when you say it like that, it doesn't sound very good.
no, it seems like that you may have some secrets of your own, perhaps, that you may possibly want to share with us so we can kind of make heads or tails of this whole clusterfuck of a situation at this point.
I'm still waiting for the why you were supposed to meet Tracy.
She was supposed to help point us in the direction of Lester.
Is that all?
Well, and whatever information she had about him.
Mm-hmm. Are you Tracy?
Opens a drawer. You're able to hear these files and folders and everything as she's sifting through it and goes, let's see. Pulls out a paper and sets it down. And it's like the whole page is full of like different lines of text and everything that are really, you can't see them. They're so small. She pulls out a magnifying glass and just kind of does this number. Okay. Back of the room, second bookcase, third row from the top, there's a little box with X72 on it.
X72. Got it.
Oh, you don't have to make a note of that.
Okay.
That's not important.
Oh, okay.
It's just a small detail.
Standing in her presence, metagaming a little bit because of the way this stuff works. When
Sure.
people are using their abilities, you kind of know that they're using abilities. Is she using an ability?
Given what the room is like, given the situation, you're not sure if it's her or if it's the room.
Okay. Okay.
Because the containers, the glass cases and the containers and everything are void containments. Like you can tell that they are
Okay.
boxes that are contain void energy.
Okay.
But you can't tell if the room is what's doing or if she's what's doing it outside of the
Um,
containers.
Hey, Carla. I was a 7-ish foot skeleton about 5 minutes ago. When the closer I got to this, I turned back to a human. Did you do that?
While he's talking, I'm gonna go grab the book.
You find a little case about yay big. A metal, wood, construction, all that stuff. Has a lock on the front of it. Oh, I saw the fight. It was impressive. Not the first time I've seen you that way, but it was impressive. It's good to see that you've gained some kind of control over it.
What do you mean, not the first time you've seen me that way?
My office has certain properties about it. As far as abilities like that, we're safe here.
Yeah, but I mean, you saying you've seen me as a 7-foot skeleton before? Because that's pretty new.
But not that big, but yeah. You don't remember?
I am very confused.
It would make sense. It was your first time.
Open that little box and look inside. Off in the
Inside the box, you see a you see a very small chess set.
like a full chess set,
Like a little miniature chess set.
all pieces, all that jazz.
Everything's there.
All right. I'll go ahead and. Is there anything else in that little box? Anything on the box? Any writing or anything like that?
There's some glyphs and some symbols and stuff on the outside of the box, but it's nothing you've seen before. Looking around as you make your way back to the conversation, looking at the cases, you notice that along the frame on the bottom of the glass, there's the same symbols on a lot of the cases and stuff.
On the way back up, like stop right at Dekard's side, and I show him the little box, and then I kind of look at him, and I'm like, dude, I'm not eavesdropping, really not trying to, but I feel like I'm just gonna throw this out there, and you can call me paranoid, you can call me digging a little too deep, but let's put 2 and 2 together here. Let's assess this situation. As I'm kind of pointing, and I hold the box up like in front of my face so she can't read my lips. And I'm pointing it and I'm doing this stuff. And I'm like, dude, so she's known this guy for a while. She just said that she knows you have these abilities. We're in an area that is kind of like a void. He kind of sits there for a minute. He's like, I can't believe I'm about to say what I'm about to say, but what if she was the one that was keeping you under control? And what if she was on the job?
I mean, maybe, but then why would somebody else have not shown up afterward?
I don't know. It's just This
Paula,
is
are you implying that I set my house on fire?
close the box.
You really don't remember.
Yeah. Yep.
There was a fire.
Yeah, when we went back to the house, we found a copy of your contract tied to the bedroom, the bed in the master bedroom. And then a second explosion like the first one. And then old Kyle here got holed up for a while by
Yeah, dude, you were
Agent
gone for
Brown.
like 2 weeks.
And then I was taking a nap.
You do realize you can't. Fine.
What, that I can't die? Yeah, it has been made abundantly clear to me very recently.
So here's the thing about the agency. If they want you, if you're useful, if they think you can be useful, they're going to convince you to join them.
Oh, yeah, no, that's how I found out I couldn't die, because they shot me, and then I got the fuck over it.
Yeah. You know now.
Look. Here's the deal. All right. We're adults here. Let's just cut the bullshit. Can we just can you just talk to us straight? Quit being so vague. Can you just tell us what it is that's going on here? Like our head's spinning and I feel like we're walking around in circles, round and around and around. What is it that you're not telling us? Please just, if he did, does, or ever will mean anything to you, can you just please be honest with us? Like, I'd assume things couldn't have been all that bad. Whatever it was between you guys lasted for... Dekard, how long were you married for? How long did you guys know each other for? A long time.
So you want the truth.
100%.
I'm not sure you can handle it.
Listen here, Jack Nicholson. That's a great movie. Chat, watch A Few Good Men. Very good.
Sure. She opens the drawer again. She pulls out a file that's substantially thick. She just kind of casually tosses it across the desk. There you go.
Reach forward, grab it, open it, start reading.
It's kind of familiar. You've read this dialogue template before. It's exactly what you saw in the videos or whenever Mr. Brown was making the video in front of you going over the case log. You know, it's the transcript from this is a video review of blah, 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 blah. The purpose of this review is to ascertain the potential and the extent of one Lance Dekard's capabilities and powers.
Okay.
We are assigning damn it, I can't remember that name. It's twice and I can't remember that
Tracy?
name. The last name, yes.
Brackner.
Tracy Brackner, to case Mr. Dekard and to keep him under wraps until we are able to gauge the extent of his abilities. And after page 1, the rest of it is just a log of every encounter, every conversation, every day for years.
Kind of close it. Rub my eyes. Yo, D. Remember how I said I was being a little paranoid? I wasn't. I hand him the paper. I grab the bottle and I just go sit down in a chair and just start drinking. And I just
He
open it.
looks at the folder and doesn't open it and goes, "Why?"
Why what?
Carla, don't fuck around. Why?
Why what?
Why all the secrecy? Because apparently you've known for a while. Why not just tell me?
I've always known.
Yes, but I didn't.
Would you believe me?
I mean,
2 months ago, would you have believed me?
maybe.
And what would you have done with that information?
But I tried to figure that shit out a little bit sooner.
How would anything have been different?
Well, because when you came back to life, I wouldn't feel like you were hiding shit from me. I got a better question. You said you've been back for a week or two.
Yeah?
What? Why didn't you call?
Why would I?
All right. Follow-up question. Were we actually married, or was it just some bullshit cover?
You can look in the file. There's a certificate.
Yeah, it's not what I'm
There's
asking.
pictures.
But were we actually married? Did it mean anything?
Did it?
This is fucking heavy. I just take another swig.
Should it now? You killed me.
Huh?
I,
Spills the
Read the
booze,
last
picks
page.
it back up.
flips open the folder to the last page.
It's not her handwriting. It's a autopsy report. It's her autopsy. It's in. You don't recognize the handwriting. It's signed an Agent Williford. Looking at it, it says that the scar or the burns were severe but superficial, and she could have lived through it. Essentially, her brain turned to mush.
I mean, if this just says you had superficial burn and blunt force trauma, it didn't mean that I killed you.
No. Not blunt force trauma. Read it again.
Okay. Your brain turned-
It essentially says that her brain had turned to mush and was essentially just a liquid.
All right, but how is that I don't do that.
It's the risk of being what the agency calls a void. If you push too hard and you try to hold back more than you're capable, if you try to cancel out something that's able to overpower you, you pay the price.
Okay. So why don't you spell it out for the simple folks standing here? Because you're saying I did this. As far as I can tell, your death was caused by a fire that required, was it Prometheus fire? And had absolutely nothing to do with me other than I was there.
Look around, Lance. There's 50 objects in this room that could do the same thing as the Prometheus fire. The fire didn't come from that. It came from you. You finally woke up, and it was more than they had thought. It was more than they were ready for. It was more than I was ready for. I tried to stop it. That wasn't ready.
I'm gonna take this file. Kyle, ask whatever damn questions you want. Turns around, walks out, goes down to the bar.
As you walk out and you start heading down the steps away from the essentially the balcony room where her office is, you're looking down. It's starting to turn dawn and the sun's starting to come up. But looking down, you can see where your hand starts to kind of go opaque a little bit, and you can see the bones inside of it as it slowly starts to shift back to human. Like you left the room and started to change back into the bone guy for a little while, and then it's slowly going back to human completely.
Carla.
Would you like to play a game? She's like taking the chess pieces out of the little container and setting them up.
Sure, I ain't no good at chess, but sure.
It's okay. It won't matter.
Sure.
Sat down across from her, you and her start playing. You notice that after, like, she's talking and just carrying on a conversation, asking about you, where you grew up, what you would do for a living, or what you did before you met Lance, and just general conversation, that kind of stuff. You'll see her talking for a while, and like you're just kind of like and trying to wrap your head around it, and then she'll be like, "Oh, it's your turn." After probably 3 or 4 times of that, you notice she's not making the moves.
Something else is moving things.
Like she'll make a few every once in a while, but then the chess set itself makes the moves.
So I take it there's something special about this chess set?
It was his first project.
Mr. Brown's first project?
No. Look at the bottom of the piece.
Well, I examined them and I look at it.
Looking at it out of the box and everything, you turn over the king, the Black King, and it's essentially the same sigil from the Joker card is on the bottom of the piece.
This is the second time I've seen this. What is this symbol? All I can get is it just represents like death. That's about all I'm getting.
Different riffs over the years, usually the more aggressive ones, think of themselves as better than normal people, the unawoken. Some have different symbols, some will brand themselves different ways. That's his.
It's like his calling cards, his logo.
That was his first use of that symbol.
So
it's the only one of his relics that we have.
What does this guy do? Like, what is his potential? What are his gifts?
From what we know, he can manipulate people into doing anything he wants.
I mean, I can kind of do that to an extent through a little tweaking here and there, but is his more of a little more extensive than that? Or on par? Or like I can manipulate people into doing things I want by manipulating the way the blood flows in their brain.
She says, yeah, she's had the file or the paper set to the one side and everything. She said she pulled out a file with the paper whenever she was talking about the chess set. This chess set was a gift that he gave. She reaches over and opens the file, and while she's talking, and pulls out a picture and slides it, like flips it over and just kind of sets it between you and her beside the chess set.
Okay.
It's a picture from one side of a desk, and you can't see the person who took it, but on the other side of a desk, or on the desk, you see very clearly the chess set. Okay. On the other side of the desk, you see Hitler.
Whoa! So you mean to tell me that this dude, I can't believe I'm about to say this, like, had some type of influence over this piece of shit guy right here in order to get him to do or sway him in the direction of doing the things that he did?
You've heard of experiences where people die and when they come back, they're not the same person.
Like reincarnation kind of things, yeah, but they come back different a little bit, yeah. I've read about it in history and mythology and stuff, yeah.
That, but they don't die.
What do you mean by
And
that?
he's gotten better at it. He doesn't have to use a relic anymore.
Would you go as far as say, like, the dude can kind of control fate? Not just people? Or influence fate?
Before I left, whenever this was assigned to me, the agency believed it was not so much that he could control the way things happened as it was he could warp people's perspectives. He could shape people's realities.
That's gnarly.
When you
What?
read about him, and she points to the picture, whenever he was younger, he was an artist. He wasn't successful, but he was an artist. He was a somewhat decent moral citizen that was a thriving artist and got into politics and suddenly changed.
What caused this break?
When she says that, she reaches over and picks up the black king, kind of just looks at it and turns it around and lays it back down with the symbol pointing at you.
The demon looking thing.
Yeah. All we can figure is he was the first trial that we know of.
What do you mean the first trial?
She takes the piece of paper, she turns it around and slides it up on the other side of the chessboard and goes, "This list, all of these references, all of these locations, everything on this list is another relic like that. This is the file that they had for him."
So there's like essentially like this group of people that can kind of.
Oh no, it was just him.
But he had influence over all of these groups and all of these individuals.
He found a way to make relics that would do what he wanted.
Okay, so
He found a way to...
He's projecting his ability into these relics essentially, and these relics in turn.
Somehow.
Now, I'm gonna ask a question because I'm curious. Does it take somebody that like let's just look at Hitler, for example. This guy is a piece of shit. Everything that he's ever done to anybody in any group of people, completely unacceptable.
After a point.
What do you mean?
Like I said, he was an artist. He was an educated man.
Yeah, he was also vegan.
And then something changed.
Right, which is what is leading me to my question. Does he take somebody's ideologies where they believe they're doing something for the right reasons that they believe in and stretch it to the extreme? Or does he warp somebody in a whole different way? Because I can't sit here and, for the life of me, like, yeah, there might have been some interesting qualities about this man that killed thousands of people that I just because you have decent qualities doesn't make you a decent human being.
Every good bad guy in every story you've read always believed they were the good guy.
Right, now we're down to the circle.
We don't know.
Okay.
We don't know if it alters their brain chemistry and if it makes them behave differently, or if it just takes what they believe and pushes it to the point
extreme.
of extremism.
What? Well, then, obviously, this dude has to be stopped. Because, I mean, if you take something like that and somebody that is not, I mean, look at this. This is a perfect example. If he's taken something and running somebody to the extreme and gets his hands on something like this piece of shit human being here, and I'm not saying that there's not worse people, but if this can be upped in any sense of the word, then that's bad shit, and this dude needs to be stopped.
Here. She hands you the magnifying glass. The first column is where it's kept. The second column is the container. The third column is the reference and who the person that we were able to find it from. It's where we found it.
This is where you found the chest?
Or where we found whatever relic it was. I'm going down the list. It's everything. Like, you see Mussolini. You see Hitler. You see Stalin. You see all of these horrible people.
Horrible things in history.
You see everything going back, even Alexander the Great.
You're telling me that this dude somehow had an impact on virtually everything that I've read in history books that we would deem as bad fucking dudes.
We think. That one is the first one where we were able to prove it.
Start tapping on the table. Start feeling on it a little bit.
The story is true. He did commit suicide. It wasn't for fear of being caught. We were able to get a void on the chest set and around him at the end. When he finally started to be around it long enough that it came back out of whatever this fog was that had him convinced the guilt was too much.
So do you think that maybe he himself was influenced by another being? What if he was just another pawn?
Why do you think I got out?
You know, to say another brick in the wall.
Right. Got out. Wait a minute. Wait. What are you saying?
I don't work with the agency anymore. There's a reason this place is invitation only. There's a reason that they continually lose their collection by chunks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not the only one that's left.
So are you... I mean, it's gonna sound kind of weird making this analogy, but would you, in like this group of people that are here in this building and stuff, are you like I don't know if you've seen the show, but like the Warehouse 13 group that's trying to keep all this stuff away from the Empire, so to speak? Are you like the rebel scum?
They're not that bad.
I mean, I don't think...
They mean well. It's not so much that we have opposing viewpoints and that we're against them. It's just we would rather not be in the same bed with them per se. And most people here have no clue. They're people that we've been able to teach and show and give a safe haven outside of the agency before the agency wanted them.
This
Dekard
is
opens
for every rift that comes awoken, there's a duality to it. For every rift, there's a equal void somewhere.
so for everyone that's awakened, there's another void that pops up somewhere else in the world.
For every source of light, there has to be a source of nothing.
Has to have balance. It's how the universe keeps going.
Most never know that they're voids because they never experience any kind of awakening firsthand.
Yeah, so they wouldn't have any idea that they're nullifying things because in their eyes the stuff never existed to begin with.
Exactly. That's why they're so hard to find new voids.
Dekard opens the door and pokes his head in. Kyle, you just about ready?
I wish. Come here. Sit down, man. And then I regurgitate everything that has been said just to save time from the conversation that I've had with Carla. The entire spiel about the relics, the dude's influence on Hitler, Mussolini, all the bad dudes in the world, and all that jazz. I passed that information on to him.
So, is he like the fear kid? Like he's still doing his thing after death?
He, from what we can tell, hasn't died.
Okay. I thought he committed suicide.
I thought who committed suicide?
When they got him with that chessboard, I thought he committed suicide. Is that somebody else?
No.
Fucked up right now, as you might imagine.
Cal can explain it better later. It might be a little hard for you in your current state.
So at this point, just to be clear, Lester's the one that committed suicide.
Hitler's the one that committed suicide.
Oh yeah, true.
Lester's the one that's giving all of these, who is influencing all these people.
So Lester's still around.
All right.
And as far as they can tell, has been around forever.
So, do you have any idea the whereabouts of where this Lester fellow is or where he last was? Because, this guy, this thing, this monster, it doesn't need to be here anymore.
I don't know. He's been quiet for a long time. It's surprising to then know that he's coming back again.
Are we 100% certain that he's the one punching contracts early?
I'm not certain of anything beyond what is this safe haven.
So let's look at this from an otherworldly perspective, right? We have this dude that essentially has the ability to influence others in some really bad ways. Before I continue, are there any things of him influencing people in positive ways, or is it all negative?
If there is, we haven't seen it.
Okay, so we're just going to say that he lets bad dudes do even really badder things. That's what I'm going to call this. With that being said, looks over at Dekard, kind of leans back in his chair, grabs a drink.
Where would we look for him?
That's question for sure, but I have another question. So, just in the short amount of time that we have been involved with this world, with this these entities and these rifts and these gifts and all this other stuff. If he's able to cash in these death contracts, essentially, right? So death in and of itself is probably an actual thing, like a being or a force or an entity or something like that. Which means just paying attention to all the little stories and stuff that we read as a kid. Even honestly, dude makes a joke, kind of says, it's like, even looking at Bill and Ted, he's like, maybe not a good time for a joke. A little nervous here. He would have to have some type of influence over death itself. How does that even happen?
How so?
Because if death is a being and these contracts and these people are being killed, right? Death would have to be present or there to collect these things. Death has to be present in death, according to lore. Or this dude is somehow... Man, wrapping my head around this fate twisting stuff is hard. Does this make sense what I'm trying to say, Dekard?
He's... Some death-like entity has to be helping him.
Yeah.
Because they want their slice of the pie.
Right.
What if they're not getting it? And she looks directly at Dekard when she says this.
Is that where the problem is striving from, realistically? Is like, no, I guess that makes sense then if we look at it from that way. Because if we look at it from the idea that death is unable to collect what they're supposed to on time, then...
Lance, you need to talk. Actually, you don't even need to talk. You need to just ask Agent Brown next time you see him. Ask him for the records about who has the different powers over the years, about when certain abilities show up, the different correlations to each one.
So these abilities that we have as rifts always connect to something greater? Is that what you're saying?
There's patterns. Somebody's cheating death, certain rifts awaken to right the scales.
To bring back balance.
Like judgment.
Weird. This is heavy, man. This is a lot to take in. I mean, what you're telling me right now goes against everything, for the most part, that I've been led to believe to an extent in anything that I've learned over the years, which is completely throwing my entire reality for a fucking loop
man.
at this point.
You're reading it all wrong. It's real simple. Everything's bullshit. And just go with that.
Welcome
Never
to
ever
the
said
real world.
You're pretty much a cynic.
Welcome
Yeah,
to the real world.
I mean, you're
My
not
wife
wrong,
came
man.
back to life, spent 2 weeks, didn't call me because apparently acting like she didn't particularly care for me. I killed her. Well, I didn't kill her, but I killed her. Yeah, let's just get the fuck out of here. Where would we find Sellerberg if he were around here? Where's his typical haunt?
I think
don't
that's the
know.
problem.
Cool.
That's what we gotta
Thanks
figure
for very little. Gets up
I'm-
and walks out.
I'm like, before I kind of stand up, push the table in, I'm like, I know that obviously Dekard is dealing with some shit right now, and to put things in perspective, like, I guess I can kind of understand. I'm like, it's weird, you know, because you have this guy and who's almost, to put in perspective, like, you have this guy that has a chip on his shoulder that up until this point, for the last month and a half, has literally based his entire existence off of his relationship with you. And I feel genuinely bad for what he's experiencing right now. It's honestly, it's kind of heartbreaking, and I understand that you were on the job. I understand that. And I'm not sure if you had any type of emotional or attachment or anything like that when it comes to your relationship with him, because you were just working. as shitty as that is, I can understand that, but for what it's worth, I'm sorry that he's being an ass, but you kind of got to give him some time. I don't think that you have given us next to nothing. I don't think that's the case at all, because the more and more we find out about these rifts and everything else that's affiliated with it, the more and more it feels like, for me personally, my world is flipping upside down. I don't even know what balance I'm supposed to bring, because I mean, I fuck what I can move metal objects, I can manipulate them. Fucking cool. Oh, electricity, yeah, that's tight, but what the fuck impact am I supposed to have on this world? I mean, I'm just a dude that likes computers and technology. I don't I don't know much
about a dude pretending to be another dude.
Exactly. I'm just like, my mom gave me up for adoption when I was younger, who, I mean, I maintain the best relationship I can with right now, given our circumstances, and I understand why she gave me up, and I think that was a brave thing for her to do. I don't know anything about my father. Like, she won't tell me anything about him, but what the fuck am I supposed to do, man? Like, I'm just got this guy that can avoid death, right? I feel like I'm super out of place here, dude. Sorry for the informalities, but this is some fucking weird shit. And he just kind of stands up and just kind of starts walking towards the door.
Kyle, one thing.
Yeah.
She pulls out the top drawer of the desk and reaches in and kind of pauses for a second and takes out a little box and says, "This is Lance's. Wait until you're gone.
I'll make sure I give it to him."
And here," and she pulls out another file and says, "It's read it before you leave, but it's all the information I have."
Looking at the file just on the top of it without opening it, what does it say? Or is it just blank?
It looks like not a official file, something more personal, references and things like that. It's everything she has on the different relics that he and the different people he's contacted over the years. It's everything she has on Lance. It's everything she has on the agency as a whole.
I'll walk out the door. I'll go down with Dekard to the bar and I'll order a beer with the sorry about the burp. With a whiskey back.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'll order 2 of them, sit down, and then I'll open that folder up and start reading it. Dekard, dude, I'm sorry, man.
No, it's fine. Who doesn't like to find out their dead wife doesn't seem to particularly fucking care?
Oh, sarcasm. I mean, it makes sense to me, man. You know,
Wonder if they're doing any more fighting. It might be good to get a little stress out.
I mean, you could always ask. Defend your championship, as it were.
Yeah, champion Bone Daddy. That's a hell of an epitaph to be carrying around.
Bone Daddy.
BoneDaddy.com.
Just one letter can take you onto a whole new website.
Had to, couldn't help myself.
Do you want to see if they have any fights lined up before we honestly?
I just turned around and look and see if anyone's, because it was getting late and they were starting to wrap up things.
It's pretty empty right now. There's a couple of staff still milling about. There's some people bringing in new boxes and restocking the cabinets and stuff, but it's pretty empty.
Is my little fireball friend, Stella, the Countess, that's her name. She around?
She's not back yet. You did a pretty good number on her.
All right.
I mean, Dekard, could just, I don't know. I mean, we've seen movies. I've watched Fight Club. You could just say, I challenge, da-da-da-da-da. I'm pretty sure some idiot will stand up.
Honestly, there's like maybe 3 people left in there
Oh,
around.
so it's pretty empty.
Yeah, it's like, at this point, it's like 8, 9 in the morning.
Oh.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna go take a leak. I got skin and stuff again. I peeing's an option. I'm gonna go pee.
When he gets up and goes to the bathroom, I'll open the folder and start reading everything.
Yeah. A lot of it's speculation because most of it is before he awoken and everything. But Lance's stuff is 100%. If he awakens, it's he has to die to awaken, essentially.
Okay.
But then he doesn't ever die. Like,
Right.
he can't die at this point. He's essentially an immortal until his mythoi is done with him.
Then it just, like, moves on, or nobody knows.
He gives up the ghost.
Oh, that's a really good band, too.
They quit providing at that point. His contract is completed. Yeah, reading over the different relic list and everything, it's fucking dark, dude. Like, all the way back to, like, speculation wise, all the way back to, like, the fall of Rome was caused by this guy.
Mm-hmm.
The burning of Alexandria was this guy.
You always played some part in just the darkest parts of history you can think of.
Any takeover.
What you looking at?
Just fucking here, take it, look at it.
I mean, there are words and there are pictures, and yep, those are things. His eyes are slightly crossed.
I
He-
hope
he's
you're just
pretty-
hammered shit right now and you're not being an asshole.
He hit it way too hard. And he's
I mean, sets down, takes a swig off an empty bottle, and puts it down to the next to the other 2 right beside it. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm always a delightful sunshine rainbow.
Bartender walks over. Pretty big guy. Looking at him, he can't go anywhere. He's 100% fully different in appearance. Essentially, he's a Cyclops.
The bartender?
Yeah. He says, "All right, last call, guys."
Honestly, dude, after the night I've had, I don't think there's enough booze in the world to make me feel better.
Let me,
I'm ready to just get the fuck out of here, man. Can we go get breakfast or something?
hold on. Last call. Let's do, let's do a heartbreak burnout. And you have to fucking drink with me, you little shithead. You know how to make one?
Yeah, give me a minute. Goes, puts it together, and sets 2 down in front of you and says, "All right, that's it."
Yep.
Mister said that it was covered by the house.
Yeah, you're damn right it is.
He takes a shot, kind of looks at it, and kind of just looks at it like, this is for anybody or any group of people that have ever had anything bad happen to them or will happen to them. Mark my words, I promise you that this son of a bitch Lester, if I get my hands on him, will not see the light of day again. Shove it, turn upside down, get up, and just walk towards the door.
Mm-hmm.
I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure you get to drive.
Yeah, fine, whatever. Let's get in the fucking car.
Yo, I'm impressed with you, Kyle. Not many people can do a shot of 151 with the chaser or fireball in it.
Honestly, in my opinion, I think the cinnamon helps it a little bit, but that's just me.
Yeah, interesting fact I learned from a long time of drinking with other cops. Pickle juice is a delightful chaser that kills the burn.
Yeah, a pickleback, that's a real thing.
It is. I've enjoyed it many a time.
I knew this guy that used to just drink pickle juice straight, actually. It's kind of... I'm not going to judge, but I think it's kind of interesting.
That's a little weird.
Get in the car. Sits there and just like... Dude, this has been, like, the weirdest, most depressing, most fucked up day I've had in my time at this point on this planet. Come to find out that one person at this point has influenced every bad decision, potentially, that anybody has ever made on a grand scale. Destruction, death, rape, pillaging, all this shit.
Hang on. Silver lining. That means humans aren't as shit as we always thought they were. Just one real douchebag.
I guess that's one way of looking at it, yeah.
Yeah,
Anyways, before you pass out or puke, Carla gave me this, and I handed him the box.
Yeah, it's cute. I'll get to that later. I'm gonna meditate on all that we have learned tonight with my eyes closed, in as supine as I can be in a car's position. It might look like I'm sleeping, but I'm not. I'm cogitating.
Cogitating? Is that even a word? Pulls out his phone and looks it up. Oh, man. And, oh, God. I hate this guy. Ryan hates this guy. Oh, I hate... Oh, man. I'm just gonna drive us back to the office, I guess, just to kind of get a little bit of nap in. And
you muscle him up the stairs to the office and everything, and kind of plop him on the couch. And by the time you look up, it's like 10:30, and you're like, I'm just gonna get a nap. Go to the other room and lay down.
Fall asleep for a little bit.
It's probably like 3, 4, we'll say 5 hours later, and you hear this very loud just on the door.
Ugh, fucking hell. Get up, pour myself a cup of like coffee that's been sitting there for 2 days. And then just grab some water, throw it in my face, walk over. I just leave Dekard unconscious, let him sleep. And I'll go answer the door.
It's Agent Brown.
Oh, look who it is. Interesting, because, you know, stuff. And
You look like you had a rough night.
A rough night? You think I had a rough night? Wow, what a fucking dick. Come on in, you stupid son of a bitch.
He walks in and closes the door behind himself. So, did you get to meet with Tracy?
Yep. Maybe I should wake Dekard up for this conversation. Give me a minute. Plus, I'm gonna get some fresh coffee, because my mouth tastes like somebody took a shit in it.
Cut for me, please.
Sure, yeah, whatever. Goes, turns on the pot, makes a pot of coffee, and gets on my phone and like orders some like breakfast sandwiches for everybody to have delivered or whatever, and goes and wakes Dekard up. Hey D. Hey D, wake up, man.
What? I told you I'm thinking.
Yeah, I know you were what was the word you used? Cogitating, yeah, that's the right one. Cogitation. Our friends here.
We have friends.
Nah, I was being sarcastic. Mr. Brown's here. He used the door, which was nice.
Oh shit, Sting. Good, I gotta have a word with him.
Oh man, this is about to be fun. I kind of just like, after you.
When you come back out, he's on his phone and looks like he's. It's one of the old slide phones, so he has it turned sideways and it's slid up, and he has a full keyboard. And he's just
Dope's like an old sidekick.
He's rocking the sidekick.
and he sees you come in, and he's like, he holds up a finger like, just a second, and finishes up the message that he's sending, and slides it back together and sticks it in his pocket and goes, "Now then, tell me about your night."
Okay. Walks over and puts his arm around Agent Brownsley. I got one question before we get too far along in all this. Did you know?
Did I know?
Kyle's like, listen here, fucker. Did you know? You know what he's fucking playing. You know about Tracy. Why didn't you fucking tell us?
What do you mean?
I'm gonna take a swing at him.
Okay.
Good call. Dude, hit him with all you got. Not even toe to toe. All you got. Everything I got. Everything I got.
Okay. Everything I got. 7.
Okay. Choose one.
I'll go with I get him good.
Okay. Sitting there, and you kind of sit beside him on the couch, and it's like a little love seat. So you kind of put your arm around him and everything as you're sitting there asking questions. And after he's answered, you kind of just like put your hand down like this, and you're like, you shake your head and you rear back, and just like from across the, like just straight across the chin and everything. And you seem like. Anyway,
did you know that Tracy Bruckner was dead? Did you know, as the bones in my hand start shifting and making like this kind of bone gauntlet, that my wife is back among the living?
Tracy Bruckner's not dead. What did she tell you?
No, god damn it. She's not dead. She was presumed to be dead and visibly made to look dead for records. That's the way this is.
No.
Then what's all this shit? And like I pull up all the websites and all that, unless it's a different Tracy.
Have you never watched a movie about this stuff?
No, you guys covered it up. Like she was presumed to be dead because...
Look. And he reaches in his back pocket and pulls out essentially like 3 different passports. And one of them is Agent Brown, and one of them is Mr. Black, and one of them is Dr. White.
So it's one of her aliases, right? Right. I know real Tracy's not dead. We know that because we spoke to her. We also know that Tracy is also Carla.
Yeah.
His wife.
Yeah.
So you did know. There's your answer. Question, why the fuck didn't you tell us?
Why would I not?
What?
Because you didn't.
Sure. But what purpose would I have in not telling you?
You didn't tell us. Why wouldn't you tell us? I mean, I feel like it's kind of pertinent given the fact that, dude...
Why wouldn't I tell you?
It's this dude's fucking wife, man. He's been mourning her for the last month and a half.
Sure.
You heartless fucking prick.
Is that better to come from me or better to come from her?
Well, I mean, as the reception was less than heartwarming, and I found out, oh, by the way, she blames me for A, her death, and B, found out she was a plant to just watch me because you sons of bitches have been tracking me for a while, apparently. Yeah, it probably would have been better for you to tell me that up front.
But now I know.
I'm not still obsessively drunk, am I? Like, this is just not making sense to anyone else. Like,
Look, we didn't know. We heard that she was back. We heard the bar was back. We didn't know. And nobody from our teams could have gotten close.
So let's just throw the knowledge that we know that she's alive. Let's just throw that out the fucking window here for just a minute. The fact of the matter is you have somehow had contact and been involved with my man D here for whatever, for how long. His wife was a plant in the, basically on the job to watch him become whatever the fuck it is that he has become at this point, dude. And you didn't think that any point in time that it would be important for you to say, hey, by the way, we kind of know about you. We kind of been keeping tabs on you, to at least get on like the front page of, we've been looking at you for potentials that could be harmful. Like, I don't know, killing your fucking wife?
You do realize we work under the assumption that unless somebody is awoken, it's better for nobody to know.
Right, but we are awoken. We have been awoken.
Sure, but he wasn't.
But he has been for the last month and a half, and he has been awoken since we have been engaged with you. Since he popped back up, since I've ran into him, this has been over a month and a half of this shit going on, which means you've, again, are well aware and have been spying on him this entire time because of what... Fuck it, whatever. All right, you're a dick. Great, fantastic. We got that.
If we didn't know, why would we have shot him?
Because I don't believe you. That's why.
If we didn't know, why would we be working with him?
You would have had to have known that he was awoken at this point, because if all that shit happened with his wife at that point, if she's a void nullifying his abilities, from what she said you were put on her to do, you would have had to know that there's something going on with him. So that's either a bullshit lie or you're just trying to talk your way out of this.
No, that's my point. We knew.
But at any point, you could have just pulled me aside and been like, hey, friend, sorry about your wife. All this shit, we gotta have a talk about it.
And what difference would it make?
It's called trust, man. Put you on the same page with each other. Maybe build relationships.
You realize you're not on that pay scale.
Fuck your pay scale. And I walked to the back room.
Information is need to know.
Well, how about this, Sunshine? I want all the records of all the little relic-y, artifact type things that he has made, that the voids that he's been in contact with, and the other people that pop up when he pops up.
Sure, I can put in a request.
Oh, no, Skippy, you ain't listening.
You do realize you're not the only one trying to do this. You're not the only team on this. You're insignificant in the grand scheme.
At that, I come back out with the coffees. I hand Dekard a coffee. I take my coffee and I set his off in the corner. There's your fucking coffee. Why don't you go ahead and tell us what the connection is with all these rifts opening up when certain things start happening? Because apparently that's a thing that you didn't mention to us either. About balance and stuff
and
like
he just
that.
reaches his hand like casually in front of him and grabs the coffee from across the room and pulls it back through a portal.
Cool. So about that question.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
And I was like, here, one better
100%,
yet.
I just missed it. Sorry.
Okay. So I basically, I'm asking him about the stuff that Carla said to ask him about. Long story short, about the rifts, why they come to be, the happenstances of things happening to bring the balance and all that shit, and then I'll even show him the folder. Explain this.
We don't know. We do the best we can to contain it and to keep collateral damage at a minimum and to keep everybody who's not from living in constant fear and terror. And until Lester comes around, we do a pretty good job of it.
Ex-Agent Mayfield, Carla Mayfield said that there were patterns and you were aware of them.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, there are patterns.
And we want all that knowledge.
You're in the middle of it. You're experiencing all the knowledge that we have.
It's like bureaucracy and bullshit's his power instead of those little portal things he does. Like, he just physically cannot a straight answer. Yes, I'll get you files H through F. Yes, I realize I said that backward. I'm still a little hungover. Shut up.
Sure, let's do this. And he just reaches over and grabs Dekard's shoulder and like puts a foot in the floor and steps forward and grabs your shirt, and you're both gone.
Cool.
You blink and you feel you almost have the wind knocked out of you, and you like and you open your eyes and you're in front of this building.
What was the HR chick's name again? Marcy? Macy? Pam? We're going to sub Pam again?
Welcome to headquarters.
That building looks hella weird, man.
Oh, this isn't Pam's headquarters. This is headquarters proper.
Oh, all right.
Where are we? Other than headquarters, where exactly are we?
I can't tell you that.
Of course not, because government got it anyway. Look at my
You do
phone just out of
realize
curiosity. Actually,
we
I
don't
don't even
work-
look at my phone. What I basically do is I touch it and kind of like,
You do realize we don't work for the government.
you work outside the government, whatever.
No, the government works for us.
Sure, fantastic. I don't trust either, but that's great. So we're here. Now tell us all the shit that we need to know.
Welcome to headquarters. By all means, go knock yourself out. You have your badges. Knock yourself out.
All right.
Looking around, what do I feel? What do I sense before walking in, just like out in this field? Like, go ahead.
Your senses, your abilities are active.
Okay.
The magnetic poles are wrong.
They're all over the place.
Essentially, it's not even close. There's, instead of being a north and a south kind of magnetic line pool, there's like 8.
So if, for example, let me just tell you what I'm gonna try to do, and then we can just go out there. So like looking around, if I wanted to try to triangulate my position based off of like GPS, but just using it within my own abilities, is that kind of just like rah, 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 kind of thing?
You don't fucking have a clue.
Like a limbo kind of situation, off the grid kind of thing. That's what I said.
Wait, if you look at a compass, it's just spinning.
Yeah. Like a limbo or a different dimensional situation.
I would say it just looks like it's broken.
Nice. Dekard, we're not in Toto anymore, Kansas. Wait. Fuck. You know what I mean.
He just starts walking, like, as you two are sitting there trying to figure all this out. He's like, by all means, go figure it out yourself. And he starts walking toward the offices.
I just let him go. I'm like, well, I mean, we should probably go check these records and figure out what's going on while we're here.
I say we file a requisition for whatever, and you ordered some breakfast sandwiches. We gotta get back before they show up.
That's a hard truth, but I don't know how to get back.
That's all right. I'll just start burning things. They'll let us out eventually.
I mean, that's one way to do it. Bro, I have 2 words. Three words? Lightning firestorm. Dig it.
I mean, more like lightning fire blast, because unless you can whip up a storm.
I mean, I suppose it's possible. I haven't really tried to do stuff like that, but
all right. Well, let's go on.
yeah.
So we go in and find like the information desk or receptionist.
When you first go in, there is a body scanner, like what you would expect at an airport or a government building. Like, essentially, it's a metal scanner. or by appearances, it looks like a metal detector. And there's like a wall and everything set up for where it kind of funnels everybody who comes in into it. The office itself is very clean. It's very modern looking. The building looks new. The architecture is kind of weird, but looks new. Pretty empty, pretty scarce. Like, you see the receptionist, and then there's kind of a half wall behind her, and then on both sides of that, there's glass walls and everything, and they're looking around, like, you see a bunch of cubicles and multiple floors and everything. It's kind of an open floor plan, like a big library, but it's mostly empty. There's a few people milling around at a couple desks or at a couple different bookshelves, but it's mostly empty.
Well, if one were to go look for, I don't know, the records, where would I find those?
Well, let's dot the reception and see what she can do for us. Get our HT TAC 3 whatever form filled out.
As y'all walk up to the scanner, there's a guard standing there, and he kind of holds his hand out. Badges.
I'm like, okay, sure, I don't mind. Sure, here is badge. Poof. Look, badge, fella.
He takes it from you, turns it around, looks at the back of it, holds it up to a scanner, hands it back to you and says, go on through. Takes the next one, does the same thing.
As I'm walking through, kind of stop by. Don't even look at him, but I kind of just looking straight and talking. I'm like, with this being in this special area where we obviously are kind of nowhere at the same time, do you guys have problems with random people trying to get here?
No.
Okay.
Just first time?
Oh, yeah.
Have fun. As you walk through the scanner and everything, he kind of looks over to the side at a panel on the side of it and goes, interesting. Where the wall behind the receptionist was, and the cubicle and the bookcase and everything behind her.
As we're walking through with that machine, can I touch it and see what it's doing? What
Sure.
it's scanning? Or can I just assess the fact that it's probably scanning our abilities and stuff like that? Can I use that knowledge? Cool. I didn't want to meta, but I figured I could a little bit maybe. Sweet.
Like that's a fair assumption.
Yeah.
As you're walking, once you walk through the gate essentially and get to the inside of the office reception area, the area behind the receptionist, you notice that it's almost like you're inside of an elevator, and everything behind her is the rest of the building, because it's cool. Just like moving, like
it's like
layer
the haunted mansion at Disneyland, dude.
But backwards. Like the receptionist area stays still and everything else moves, and you're like,
it's a floor later.
Cognitively, there's no way that it can move that far from the outside. Mm-hmm. So something's going on with it, but like it just keeps going and going and going, and then you see it start to slow down and it stops on a specific floor, and it kind of looks like a basement. Like, it's pretty dark, it's pretty musty. There's a lot of boxes and stuff on shelving, and there's a few desks with lamps on them and everything.
It's powered by Time Lord technology. It's a TARDIS building. Bigger on the inside.
Did you just make a nerdy joke, old man?
I've had a lot to drink. Don't fuck with me.
I mean,
as you're walking up, the reception goes,
good job.
Oh, I haven't seen you two before. What can I do for you?
We need records associated with Lester Selberg, in particular, voids and
first timers. Okay. Yeah. She just kind of like gets up halfway out of her chair and goes right over here into the counter.
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of thing as what he used over there. If there's a little thing for your badge, just go ahead and do that. Same what he did over there. And whenever you put in your information, it'll ask what you're looking for. If you just use a name, an address, even an ability type, something like that, it will tell you the location that you have access to of where you can find that information.
Let me guess, all this stuff is separate as far as what information can be given to whom based on security clearance kind of thing, right?
Pretty standard, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like government shit. Thank you.
You
Yes, we know you don't work.
We
for the
don't.
government.
Yeah, they work
It's
for
been a
you.
very long night.
Dude, I love it. I love it. Killing the role play. Killing
So,
it.
just as a meta kind of thing, we don't work for the government works for us thing. The structure of everything being bureaucratic, and that's the way the government does it, and all that. The government does it because that's the way the agency does it. That's the way the agency taught them to do it, kind of thing. If anything, they're more strict with that stuff than any kind of government facility would be.
All right, so I walk over and swipe my badge or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, I want records on rifts that appear when Lester Silberg reappears.
And you hear this voice, pretty much an Alexa, that goes, records that appear when gifts from Lester Welberg. Is this correct?
Ding.
I start patting my coat down.
Dekard, what are you doing?
I'm looking for a book of matches. I think I'm just gonna burn this fucker down. Like,
and Kyle's in the back mocking the voice like this because it's funny. Ding.
Like
Sorry,
pulling all
we
the-
didn't get your answer. Is
You
this
know,
correct?
Pulling that fire out the air really kind of strained something, so I figured I'd get a match instead of just trying to suck all the fire out the air. Kyle, you can save this machine's life before I burn this building to the ground. Or the quasi dimensionality that this thing sits in.
I can try.
Okay.
I basically go over and do exactly what he did. Ask. Actually, I
I mean,
don't
there
even.
is a keyboard on it as well.
I just type like looking for information for it. Search. It's like Google.
Yeah. Yeah.
Son of a bitch. You mean I could have just typed that shit in? I didn't have to talk to the stupid box.
No, I think that's accurate.
I really got to find some fucking matches. Hold on a minute.
After you type it in and hit enter and everything, you see a blank screen.
It's just blank. Is it loading?
No results. Like, that's the only thing. Like, essentially it has the directories at the top, and then underneath where it would list everything, it just says no results.
So if I just type in Lester Selberg, does anything pull up?
There is one result in archives.
Does it give a location or does it pull it up on the computer?
It gives location.
What's the
Here's a
location?
better question. Are we cleared to go look at this
Are
file?
we? Does it say access?
So anything that pops up on the computer, you have clearance for.
Okay.
If nothing pops up, it's either it doesn't exist
Or no clearance?
or you don't have clearance, but it doesn't tell you.
So I kind of look at Dekard, and I'm basically going to use my my knowledge of working within the FBI and stuff like that, because it's really kind of the same way I'd imagine it worked. And kind
Yeah,
of
it's
like,
the same thing, just cranked up a little
Yeah.
bit more.
I'm like, so here's the deal, man. I'm like, so I got a location of some information where we can go check on this. So given our pay scale, as our fantastic friend so eloquently put it, we're not going to have access to it. Now, that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist, because again, we could maybe not have access to it. To say it doesn't exist, I think is horseshit. I don't know how comfortable I would feel about trying to hack the man in here, so let's just go check the information we have currently, and then maybe later we can see what the...
I mean, there are much easier ways to get access to files. I mean, you just sex one of these people up
I mean,
or cut them.
you
or
are
cut
the
them.
bone daddy.
But that's the problem. I ain't getting no fleshy, but you got them soft, squishy lips. You wrap them around whatever needs wrapping.
www.bonedaddy.com.
bonedaddy.com.
And you got on a t-shirt.
We ever start merch, that has to be the website for the merch.
bonedaddy.com.
Oof.
That's a good one. God, that's gonna be close. I'll just make a note of the location that the file's at, and then I'll start making my way towards it.
Okay. It's like you start looking at the shelving, and it's like instead of being H through K or H through I or whatever, right? It's or whenever you get to S, it's like S A through S L or whatever on most libraries, right?
It's like zigzag through Glork.
You go to the first, like you start looking at, like you're walking for a while and you're looking at the shelving, and it's like A B.
I'll be back.
1 through A B 2.
Okay.
And what you're going to is essentially like down in the J range.
Okay.
What did he do?
He took a sip right as I said zigzag through Glork.
Nice.
Do you want to take a 5-minute real quick? Are you good?
I'm good. I'm fine.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm fine.
Eventually you get to the location, and it's like you walk for an hour to get to this location because it's a giant fucking warehouse.
You know, we should have asked.
It's not nearly the refined Library of Congress equivalent size that you walked into that you assume Agent Brown went into at first. No, you're in the fucking underbelly warehouse kind of place.
We really should have asked for like one of them little touch bar wheelie dealies to get around.
I mean, maybe we're gonna find like the arc here. Bro, it's Warehouse 13. I think we found it. It's real. This place exists.
I don't think it's Warehouse 13. I think it's Warehouse Infinite.
God damn it.
Look at the side of this fucking building.
All right, well, let's go see what we can find.
But you get there. There is a. You find the shelving unit. You walk down the shelving unit. You find the spot. There is essentially an office package box there. Looks like it's like looking around it and everything. The other boxes nearby are coated in dust and everything. But this one has been accessed recently. It's been pulled out a handful of times. It's been like it's cleaned of dust at this point. It's been used enough.
And is it just a box where all that information's at?
Well, it's just a box right now. You haven't opened it.
Well, just a box. Well, I'm gonna open the just a box.
The box. Opening the box. There is a single file in the box.
I mean, it seems a little anticlimactic given all
And it's
the-
not.
all the
Hey,
not a thick
Dekard,
file
look,
either.
it's your sex life. Boom.
Too soon.
And between
That's what she
each
said.
row of the
Boom,
shelves-
that's a twofer!
between each of the shelving units, they're spaced out pretty good. There's desks kind of in between each one with enough room, but the desks are spaced out pretty sparingly.
You know,
Yes.
once you go zigzag your Glork, you son of a bitch.
Inside the file, because I'm assuming we're going to look at it.
That's
Yes.
Nah, it's not important.
Most of the information, like it has his name on it, age unknown, location unknown, last known or accomplices is fully redacted. At the bottom, it's all of this information, and it's all like either it's unknown or it's redacted. And at the bottom, it says, "If encountered, to report immediately to the agency. If suspected of encounter, report immediately to the agency. If found any information or clues, report immediately to the agency," and yada 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 yada. And then at the very
there
end,
ain't
it says,
shit here. Go
"Final
figure.
warning: consider subject extremely hostile and do not engage."
I mean, I'm certainly glad we went through all this effort. Feel like I've really been enlightened. I think I'll just float my ass back down the aisle with the level of enlightenment I have fucking attained from
We
this
have so
file.
much knowledge. I'm blown away by the amount of information that we have attained coming to such a magnificent place. So we literally, my friend, have found out Dick in addition to what we already know.
I'd say we found out Jack and shit, but I feel like Jack said, nah, you boys are on your own.
Yep. 100% hard agree on that one.
All right, let's find one of them little scooter dealies and wheel our asses back to reception, and then I'll get some matches.
Still burning this place down, huh?
I mean, at least I'll think about it.
Trying to think. Is there like another
Well-
terminal in here where you can search, I'd imagine, somewhere?
Yeah, end of every row has one.
I'll go up to another terminal. And
Type in Lester Selberg expert. See if we can't find an agent who knows some shit. Maybe have a working theory on his dumbass.
put my hands on the keyboard. I'm like, I'm super down to do that, but this might be as far as our clearance goes. Like, I'll type what he said.
No results.
Yep.
I tap somebody sitting at a nearby cubicle and say, hey man, you gotta.
Oh, there's nobody. You haven't seen anybody since you came in.
Oh, alright. I'll make fun of that real hard.
Sit there for a minute and think. See if, and I'm just gonna go through countless searches to see what I can find out about like rifts popping up at certain times to bring balance. That stuff that that Carla told me to ask Mr. Brown. I want to do a deep search on that, see if I can find anything.
You find a few references and a few essentially theories. Location once you go and find it and look through it and everything, you find some working theories that it's rifts are one side of the coin and the voids to the other side of the coin. Not necessarily a good and bad kind of thing, but very much a duality. If one exists, the other has to exist. One cannot exist without the other, and all this other kind of stuff. Nobody knows where it came from, nothing like that. And it's a working theory, but there's never been enough proof to support it. The closest correlation? Yeah, correlate. The closest data that they could find. Yeah, I don't understand that one. That's a weird one for me. Was a set of twins born in the 1700s that were awoken at birth as part of traumatic event.
One void, one the other.
It's the only record of anything like that ever happening, and it was assumed that it was passed down before that. And for the working theory was, if you're a rift, your children are more likely to be a rift. If you're a void, your children are more likely to be a void. Parents were neither one rifts or voids, and they had a set of twins that one was one and one was the other.
Is there anything in there, just personal for me, that says that parents that are neither can have offspring that are?
Mm-hmm.
There
Yeah,
is?
100%.
Okay. Out of shits and giggles, I just want to... I'm going to search myself in the computer. Look myself up.
There's a file on you.
I want to read it.
It starts the front page of the file is name, general statistics, your height, your weight, your eye color, your marking, like your tattoos, that kind of stuff. Underneath that, it has your different affiliations as far as mother this, father this.
It says my father's name?
It does have a name.
What's his name?
What's his name?
Yeah.
Lester Selberg.
Oh, shit.
Am I that mean? I don't think I'm that mean.
I mean, you kind of just ruined his character, so.
Yeah, but I mean, at the same time,
It's good storytelling.
If your dad's Lester Selberg, I'm probably gonna choke slam you because you're effectively Damien from Omen.
Right?
I gotta handle this shit right now.
Abraham Befuklo.
Bafuklo, huh?
Fuklo.
I'm gonna have to write that down on my character sheet. Oh, that's a name right there.
And don't expect me to remember it, so.
Abraham
Befluko. Befuklo. B-I-F-U-C-L-O.
F-U-C-L-O.
I was almost there. Actually, I was a lot closer. I put B-A-F-U-K.
Now, in all the conversations that I've had with my mom, she never really knew who he was, so that's going to be interesting. Cool beans. All right.
In between the names, he goes by Abe, is what it has on there.
Okay. I want to do a search on his name. Like, click the link for Abe.
You go to the end of the shelf, you search for Abraham, Abe, Befuklo, and yeah, it's a weird one. And the only thing that pops up is your file.
Okay. Well, Dekard, anything that you might want to kind of dive in? We're not getting really anywhere with this. So much for our first time in our amazing situation in this place.
See if you can't do a cross-reference with Lester Silberg and myself.
I mean, at this point, have I found all I can on Mr. Selberg?
I would say so. Look, putting in just his name and only getting the one result. It's Google, but it's smart. If that makes sense. Like, it will literally pull his name in anything that has his name on it. It will pull all of those and put those in the results. But that was the only result there. Whereas yours, the first page was that, and then the rest of it was the video log that Mr. Brown did a couple weeks ago.
Before I get out of here, I'm going to search Tracy Brackner.
Ooh, interesting. Okay. Searching Tracy Brackner, you find two things. One is heavily redacted. The other one is her life from before, and you can see that it's the older woman's life.
Like, it had been replaced. If I'm looking at this, had it been replaced, or it was her, or
100% the older woman who had passed away was a real person and all this other stuff. All her family had died before she did. She was the last of her lineage. Led a good life, but everybody eventually passes on. Not really a sad tale or anything like that, just a pretty generic normal person.
So
the other one is redacted. At the top, it's fully redacted, but it says Agent Tracy, and then
it says Agent. Okay. So just so I know, for me, in the conversations that I've had with Carla / Tracy and Mr. Brown,
it also says KIA.
Okay. Is it to assess that Tracy's obituary and everything, that was her cover up, and they used that person's dead information to...
Given what you know about the way some of that identity theft and things like that work, yes.
Yeah, okay.
They took her identity and reshaped it and made it fit for what their purpose is.
What would it take? So if they took her identity and Tracy's dead, then that means Dekard, all right, I'm going to grab Dekard. I'm like, yo, check this out. So looking at how this stuff is done and some of the work I've done in the past, the information on your wife, Carla / Tracy, right, is from this deceased person here.
Yep.
What are the chances that Tracy isn't really Tracy's name either? That's her cover name. And Carla isn't her name either. What if she is in fact somebody else? Because think about it. I mean, I wouldn't go in there with my real name if I was doing any of this cover stuff either. And the way these people cover everything up, what do you think about that?
But we walk in and tell people our real names all the time.
Yeah, but we're not. I mean, we're on the job, but we're not. This is a little deeper than that, in my opinion.
I grant you that, but I don't know, maybe, but also, what does it particularly matter?
I don't know.
So my
It would give me something else to search on.
well, search me, see what all they have on me. Because we have Carla's file, we don't have their file.
You haven't searched Carla's file.
I'm gonna do.
Carla gave us the thing on me, what she had on me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
follow.
So I'll do a search on Carla, and then I'll pull up Dekard.
Okay. Carla is. You find the same thing that you found on Tracy. You find a record of a deceased person who had a full life and all their information and everything else, and then you find another file that says Agent Carla, agent number, and the rest of it's redacted with the KIA at the top.
Looks similar to the. Okay.
Same agent number on both.
It just says that it's got an agent name, and the rest is. Bro, we need more security clearance.
Looking at Lance, you find a chart that has the information on it's been redacted. It is a plot graph.
Mm-hmm.
Is looking at it, it almost looks like a projection analysis on one sheet. The rest of it has his, not his agent number, but his badge number on it and everything else, and it has quite a bit of information on it. But anything that would be their theories or their reason for planting Carla there is not listed. It's all redacted.
But when she already told us why she was put there, because of.
It's essentially them keeping everything being redacted at this point is essentially them keeping their fledgling, their starter, their rookies from getting in over their head or getting freaked out too much or whatever.
Okay. Something that I've always been curious, because it's always been kind of just a roundabout thing. So I'm going to look over at Dekard and be like, I'm going to try to find out what it is that's actually empowering him. I want to see what I can search on there as far as justice, balance, judgment, mythoi. Mythos. No, that would be mythoi in mythology.
Looking through just going through them and everything and looking at the things that pop up, and a lot of it's just generic information, encyclopedia kind of stuff. Like you're going through all this stuff and you're thinking like fire control, and you get a list and it's like, no, it's not that. It's seeing people's past, and you get a list and it's like, no, it's not that either. Judgment, and you get like 2 hits.
What's it say?
One of them, as per what you would expect, is mostly redacted. A lot of what's in it is like a lot of what's not redacted in it is prior awoken, like a list of people who were awoken with this. Some of them have agent numbers, some of them don't. All of them are dead.
Mm-hmm.
At the top of the list is Lance Dekard, badge number, currently, on the job or currently living or whatever.
But it doesn't say specifically. When I pull my information up, if I try searching within my abilities, what does it say?
We'll get to that. The other page that pulled up is Lance Dekard's profile and his history and all of that. Most of it's redacted because it's the same thing that she gave you. It's hard, like you can tell from the way that it's laid out and everything. It's the same files that she gave you. It's all of her reports and that kind of stuff. Looking at the judgment, it's at the top. It says source of abilities unknown. Theorized stuff or the working theories behind it and everything. And it says see reference what material, whatever, and it goes and it's fate. You look at the reference material and it's like an encyclopedia, like an ancient lore kind of thing, but it's like talking about the fates and talking about death and like all of these things that have way and judge people.
Okay.
And get to choose whether or not, hey, you get to live or you get to die.
And then last but not least, and then I'll step away from the computer, I want to look up to see what I have on there for me when I look my abilities and stuff. What it says, where mine comes from and stuff like that, not knowing, really understanding why I have these abilities or how.
Looking at what you've discovered you can do with different forms of electricity and everything. It's pretty common. It's not a very eclectic one. It's been something that a lot of people have, and in the list there's a lot of people who are still living. There's a lot of agents that are able to do stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Some that are just pure electricity, some with pure technology, different levels, different variations, but there's lots. The magnetism one is a little bit more uncommon. It's not necessarily the level of judgment where it's like, oh, here's these two things. But it is like there's a handful, like 15 pages, something like that, of different lore, different stories, different places that it could come from, different working theories. And then there's the one that has the full list of users. And there's still a couple people who have it, but there's not many.
Is there anybody that has the ability to do both like I can?
Cross-referencing both of them with each other? No.
So as far as I can tell for what's in the system, I'm the only one that can do both.
So far.
Okay.
Sitting there thinking back to the conversation with Carla, trying to think what else I could try to put in here to find some.
What if I search Jerome Brashear?
Jerome Brashear pops up. There's one result. It references a case file, their case file on your case file. Yeah. It deceased abilities or influence, none known, wrong place, wrong time kind of thing.
Okay.
Hey,
I got nothing, Dekard.
Oh, you're so close.
Got any ideas, man? I feel like there's something here. Either my search terms are just. Trying to think here. Tracy Brackner.
if
I want to search the bar's name, The Beacon.
Ooh. Searching the bar's name, The Beacon. It looks
Did
a
he
lot
said
like,
it doesn't pop up very often, or?
It looks like Lester's file. It's red flags and warnings and approach with caution and do not engage, and they're not hostile, but you don't want them to know you work with the agency and all this other stuff. Like, it's very list of there's a list of known patrons, there's a list of known staff.
Okay.
All of them are awoken, all of them have abilities of different kinds.
It's just
All
kind
right.
of like a breakdown of people at his bar.
Yeah.
So
I
we
want to-
searched-
Go ahead. Well, I gotta look
we
something up.
searched you, we searched me, we searched Carla, Sir Leslie, searched Judgment, Fire, right?
Yep.
You searched your deal?
Yeah. I mean, I found my dad's name, which is kind of interesting. I didn't even know
Oh.
his name.
What's your dad's name?
Abe Bafuklo.
I'm so sorry.
I mean, maybe he's Italian. I mean, it makes sense why I like Italian food.
What if he's Greek?
I like Greek food too. Gyros are bomb.
Right. So, have you tried?
I'll step
Looking
aside and I'll here, take over. I'm actually gonna look something up on my end on my computer.
Right. I start clacking. It's like
Mhm.
trying to chaos, or I'm trying to find out more about Lester's mythos.
Everything that you can Roll and investigate.
I was gonna
Let's-
get really fancy and use something that we haven't used.
Google.
No. You'll see.
Damn, let's see.
Not that it would help, I don't think, but
Right.
you know.
I'm gonna throw in. I don't know if any of my tags would work. No, they wouldn't. Okay. 7.
7. Okay.
All right.
Um,
I know what I'm gonna do.
you are looking, you're rattling your brain, you're like, Agents of Chaos, blah, 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 blah. Lester again. Now, eventually you get into this weird mindset of where it's like, nothing's working. Let me just throw it at the wall, see what happens. You start looking up things tied to like end of the world kind of stuff, World War III, Apocalypse, Ragnarok, things like that. You don't find any direct connection. There's no mention of Lester. There's no mention of things like, but all of their mythology and all of their world records and all this other stuff that are like, oh, this could end the world kind of things, right? Or this could be how it ends. It always, at the end of it, there's always a line that says, this is all from the people who don't know. This is all from the unawoken, seeing great events that are being perpetuated by the awoken in the rifts. When the world ends, it will be a rift that ends it.
Whoa, brutal. What'd you find, D?
So they're saying that 100% when the world's done, it'll be one of our fault. Not specifically you and me, but a rift. And
I mean,
when you start doing the crazy searches on old Lessie boy, like the usual stuff. So I went a little out there, and it got into like Apocalypse, World War II, Ragnarok.
all the bad shit that this dude could have potentially been a part of, yeah, for sure, or will.
Or
And-
might
and
be in the
that's-
future.
Mhm.
Yeah, and that's where it all just kind of points at and says, "Oh, caused by a rift." So
All right. I'm gonna try something. Doc, you mind if I see the terminal?
yeah, sure.
I'm gonna close my eyes for a minute. I'm just gonna sit there. I'm just gonna think, and I'm gonna think real hard. I'm like, what am I missing? There's gotta be something here that's gonna put us on track. And I'm gonna use Look Beyond the Mist.
Okay.
So, when you reach inside to get in touch with your mythos, you can feel the truth behind things without even knowing how. Play it out like the investigate move, but the roll is mythos. Roll plus mythos.
Okay. So whatever you roll +2.
Yeah. But instead of that, you basically get clues equal the amount of mythos, so I get 2 clues.
Okay.
Five.
You're on the terminal, you're doing your thing. You start you get in your
It's not
tunnel vision.
hacking, kind of, but it's like
You get in your tunnel vision kind of focus where you're this search term, nothing. Instant, like just hit it, nothing, hit it, nothing, hit it, nothing, hit it, nothing. You start doing plus and minus on search terms, and even to the point of where it's like you start referencing specific articles in your search term. Like you'll do chaos in like, or you'll do mind control plus article 18214 and stuff like that, right? Which is articles you've seen of Lester or different references from Lester or different references to events and things like that. You don't know how or where you find it, but you find an article that is essentially like you're not sure if you stumbled into a back door or if you just found an article that was filed incorrectly. But you essentially find her file on their side of it.
Whose file?
Carla's.
Okay.
The reference sheet where it was the list of everything that he had touched and all of his relics he'd made. You find that file, but on their side of it.
So the unredacted stuff.
Yeah, you find an unredacted one. Instead of it being 1 page, it's like 4 pages.
What does it say?
It's everything from different enclaves to different familiars, different, even Sasquatch is listed there. At the top, there is a disclaimer that some of it is speculation, but it's all listed there. The enclaves are everything from Camelot to the fall of Atlantis to the 7 wonders of the world are listed in it. Like, and as you start looking through it, there's a lot of bad stuff in it, and there's a lot of the bad people in it. But on the other side of that, there's some really like advancing civilization and not into the world stuff. Like there's some greater good kind of stuff in it. It's the gray area kind of stuff.
Is there anything in there specifically that ties Lester to Tracy?
No.
Nothing.
There is one spot that mentions contracts.
Is there any details in there? Is it?
Ooh, hey, since you're on them old keys, why don't you search contracts?
That would be my next move.
Who writes contracts?
There's a little drop down, and it kind of gives you a list of different references where his list of relic kind of things are tied into the contracts. And looking at like the number 1 search on it, there's a picture image in it that is a almost perfect copy of what you would consider an early version of the contracts that you've seen.
I mean, here we go.
As you see it, the terminal goes black. You look around, every terminal is shut down. The lights shift into a more of a yellow tone, and they start blinking.
Dekard, let's go.
There's this siren that starts going off. This almost like a fire alarm.
Dekard, I may have stumbled across something I was not supposed to. I didn't do anything I shouldn't have. Their system and whoever handles their file management system needs some fucking work. So let's just walk away. Just walk away.
How quickly do you leave?
Casually.
Casual, not
Casually?
to look guilty.
Yeah. Okay.
And if somebody stops, I'm like,
We'll say that y'all are closer to the front at this point, looking at your search, and you're going and pulling these boxes and looking through the stuff in the boxes for hours at this point. Y'all are closer to the front. Probably like 15-minute casual walk. You see a couple people kind of coming out of the shelving from out of nowhere that walk out with you, and you're like, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm. Whoa.
You leave this room, this giant warehouse with maybe like 6 other people. The front reception area is fucking chaos. Whenever you get to the door to get in, you can see it, but you have to wait a while because there's a kind of a lock on the door. There's a red light, and then you're assuming that it's like you see people kind of walk through your door, but almost like Agent Brown walking into the room. They kind of walk through a door, but it's not yours, and they just suddenly appear. You're assuming that you're being shuffled in order. After about a 5-minute wait, your door opens and y'all walk out. Agent Brown is sitting there on the side going, "You were in there a while. Did you find anything?"
Nope,
Not
a damn
really.
thing.
Not
Cool.
really.
He like reaches down between his legs and pulls out essentially like a tall shoebox and goes, "I have a couple things, but we gotta go."
All right, let's go. Why's the panic is kind of getting shuffled? What's everybody spazzing out for?
Something's on its way.
Well, that's not encouraging.
They're trying to evacuate everybody as quickly as possible so they can change locations
This area? Of this place?
of the building.
So
Okay.
something knows that you're here. Is that not common, I'd assume?
Well, let's let's say
It doesn't
something
happen
like,
often. Let's go. You kind of walk, and the guard's like just kind of pushing people through, and like he'll stop people and like quickly open the box if they have a box like his or like an archive box and close it, and then he'll be like, "Yep, go, check, yep, go, yep, okay, go." Y'all get outside, and you see different like people are like walking through portals. People are just bamfing out. People are getting in vehicles and driving off. Like people are just leaving. Like some people fly away. All this other stuff. And he just is like, "Are y'all ready?" And grabs both of you, and y'all are back in the office.
hey, does time move differently on the other side where we were just at? Because breakfast burritos or sandwiches or whatever the hell was coming.
About the time you ask, you hear a
Oh,
I'm so happy.
go answer the door.
DoorDash.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. If you could, man, if you don't mind, just go ahead and leave it at the door.
What? No fucking tip, man? Are you fucking serious? And you hear him like storming off and walking off and everything.
It was done on the app.
I did it on the
jackwagon.
app, you dick shit. Open the door and grab the food, and then bring everybody their sandwiches and open the box and start looking through and ask him like, "So, what is it that's going on here?" Biting the sandwich.
Talking with him and having the conversation. Essentially, he did the same thing that y'all did, only with his clearance. He found the most pertinent information he could as to do with Lester or his ability to make relics, and now his ability to no longer need the relics and be able to permanently influence somebody in the long term.
Mm-hmm.
And he has like maybe 4 files, but they're all speculation. He's essentially he was an embodiment of something, kind of the way Demos was.
Okay.
But he's never been able to be killed, because anytime he's confronted with anything, he just essentially talks it out of existence
Because of his ability.
How do you because
like there's no record of anybody ever seeing him. He just leaves calling cards.
Well, my question is, do you have a theory on how to tell who's been influenced? Like, it's not a relic thing anymore, right? Because
there's no way to know at this point. There's no relics. When they're done doing what he wants, he leaves a calling card and they turn up dead. I called in a favor. He's never had his picture taken. He's never been in any photos. He doesn't exist on a scale of that we make people not exist. He doesn't exist.
Well,
That's some weird shit. I mean, so then, that's a little bit more than what we got. You
got something?
No. That's a hell of a lot more than what we got, TBH. We couldn't even find anything based on Lester. Like, we searched his name, nothing available. Just tried to do a bunch of cross-referencing, couldn't find anything. Our clearance is so limited that...
Yeah, Kyle was curious how we get our clearance up. Like, those soft, squishy lips of his, who's he got to suck
Whose
up
butt
to?
do I have to kiss?
Well,
Slash other things.
who's your handler?
That would be you. You want to give us some more clearance?
And if you're not our handler, then
I can vouch for you, but it's not up to me.
It's up to your boss, which...
All right, who's your boss, by the by? What exactly does the chain of command in this place look like? I'm assuming twisted snakes being wrestled with black cats.
He kind of chuckles and he goes, "It's above your pay grade."
Well, we're trying to fix that.
No, it's the handler. It's very tiered off structure wise. And I can tell you, it won't help you. That's not to say that, you know, you couldn't contact the person, but that even if
No,
they would
I'm
make
not even.
time for you, it wouldn't help you.
Yeah, I'm just legitimately curious at this point. Like, do you work for like Zeus?
Sure,
Or...
sure.
He works for Zeus! Oh, shit!
They're very
Agent
blasé about that.
Castellani is my contact.
Kesta
Essentially,
Lindley?
she's my handler.
Okay.
Castellani.
Castellani. Is that just the last name? Or first
Yeah.
and last? Okay.
Yeah, last name.
And do you have a first name or you just know her as the last?
You don't want to use it. Her name's Janet.
All right.
Damn it, Janet.
Well, I assume that at this point, wait, before I even get to my next question, you said something's coming. What was that something that everybody was losing their shit about?
I don't know yet. We'll find out later. It'll get passed down.
Or a smoking crater will be left of where headquarters is.
Oh, headquarters will be fine.
I mean, I hope
Okay.
that it is of the utmost importance that we find this Lester. Do you
I
have...
hope it's not Lester that showed up to the headquarters.
So y'all kind of fell into the deep end.
I would say thrown,
Yes.
but yeah, a little bit.
Kind of fell.
Sharked.
Lester is a enigma.
Mhm.
Wrapped in a
He's-
mystery.
Har har. He's an anomaly. He may not even be here. Yeah, I mean, you look at different things. People have done this kind of copycat kind of crap forever. It could be Lester. It could not be Lester. We don't know. If it is Lester, it's honestly, it's not y'all's problem. But it's also, if you going and talking to Tracy was, you were the only people we had that could get in.
How? I walked up and the dude just let me in.
And he goes, well, one of you was married to her.
Yeah, but he didn't even get in till after I just walked through the door. They didn't even know who he was.
Exactly. But
I mean,
she
by
did.
the way,
So-
thank you for all that nonsense. I'll have
When
you
the-
know,
when he
anything
had
that
to
happens.
fight,
Mm-hmm.
she knew who it was.
Oh, did you hear about that?
Nobody
Lit
else would
that
have.
bitch on fire.
Nobody else would have got an audience.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly all
What was
puppy
the
kisses. And
what
warm
was the whole
butterflies.
point, or what was your whole idea that we would? What information did you hope that we would have got out of Carla? What was your goal there? Like, dude, if we're gonna work on this shit together and shit's hitting the fan, I think it's
sure.
time that we put our shit aside and we
Sure. No. The case is closed. We have the information we need. We know that the beacon is back.
Mhm.
We know that our lost goods are still in safe hands.
Mhm.
We knew the beacon was back because we could see it. We didn't know who brought it back.
Okay.
We didn't know who had those objects.
But if she told us that she has owned that place for, and I quote, it has been part of her for quite some time,
Sure.
you guys had no idea that she was behind it? I just think it's weird that we were able to get that information so quick. I understand. Oh, you were using Dekard's pass with her. I got it. There it is.
Dekard was the foot in the door.
Dekard, this whole time while you guys are talking, is just turning that box in his hands over and over.
Have you opened it yet?
Nope.
Nope.
I didn't think so. Says there was no. She doesn't give audiences to people.
Well, I mean, I was pretty impressive. You can ask old Kyle here. I lit a bitch on fire.
It's insignificant. You could have lost, and you would have had an audience.
Given
I
the
like to
fact
think
of
it
your
mattered a
past
little
with
bit.
it.
I like to think there was a little bit involved there.
Given, and on top of that, the beacon isn't part of her. Part of one of her staff or people, or call it whatever you want. The same way that Pam can get you in the offices.
Right. So, Mr. Brown,
Agent Brown.
what should our next move be? I mean,
For now, Lester's a lost cause. There's no reason to hunt Lester. Lester
Yeah.
shows up. We'll do what we can. We'll contain it as best we can, and by the end of it, maybe we can figure it out. Maybe this time we can actually get him.
You,
But- with you saying that do the best you can, I mean, obviously, no disrespect to the agency, but I mean, obviously, you guys aren't doing well, given the fact that a little bit of disrespect. Obviously, you guys aren't doing so well in that area because all this has happened, and I've got proof that he's been behind a bunch of really bad shit.
Sure. But the world's still spinning. The city's still here.
I would personally recommend that maybe you go back and start looking at the people that had their contracts pulled. Because my
They're
ex-wife,
back.
yeah, maybe they can give you little details in the past, 24 hours.
We've spoken to them. All of them have no recollection of anything that happened, any pertinent video evidence or any security cameras or photography things that might have been in the area. They've all been wiped.
Hey, by the by, a little Asian kid that had that, remember that virus girl way back when we first started working together?
Oh yeah.
Did you
Victor.
ever, he eluded us. Did you ever find him?
Not that he never resurfaced.
Okay. I was just curious. Because we didn't catch him. He got away.
Right. Yeah, but he never resurfaced, and that we know, or that I know of. I don't know what had happened to him, but he never resurfaced after those events.
All right.
But if we need you, I'll come knocking.
Yeah.
But if we have a case that requires your tact and your specialties, or one of your specialties even, we'll be in touch. And until then, if you need
Before you
something,
leave, what's this deal with about the end of times being brought on by a rift?
yeah, we're unsure. It's a working theory. It's the best theory we have. Looking at the evidence, looking at the way things happen progressively with rifts, and it being a constant struggle between somebody who wakes up and, case in point, has invisibility and is from then on an invisible person. Normal people are fine. Normal people make mistakes. Normal people learn. People with these abilities, absolute power leads to absolute corruption.
I mean, in this case, though, realistically, normal people aren't fine because you've got your boy Lester that has proven that the complete opposite.
They're ants in a playground.
I guess that's true.
If it's going to end, it's not going to be the normal people. It's going to be a rift somewhere behind the curtains or doing it themselves.
By the way, absolute power, uncorruptible.
But for now, I'm going to put a pin in this case and file it as complete, and until it needs to be opened later. If we have a case come up down the road, or if y'all stumble into a case, let us know. It seems like cases have a way of finding rifts on their own.
Yeah. If you could, if there's an R&D type facility, maybe some clothes that I'm not going to hulk the fuck out of and rip every night, because that's going to get old real quick.
I'll see what I can do. I'll see if I can have something delivered for you.
I appreciate that.
Give me a couple weeks.
All right, well, I guess that's that. So, I mean, we didn't really find. Wait for him to
Thank
leave.
you for the coffee.
Yep.
Thank you for the breakfast. I'll be in touch and let you know what went on with the agency at headquarters.
All right.
Turns, walks out the door, closes the door.
Poof.
And
Man,
I mean, he doesn't poof right then, but he waits until, like, it's one of those, he spent so long doing it, he kind of has like the hair on the back of his neck kind of thing if somebody's looking at him, so he waits until nobody's around and then he poofs out.
Does the Batman.
Yeah.
man,
That
you
turns a
still
corner and he's gone.
So it'll look like you catch him shut eye and be all right with it. Why don't you go on and crash out for a little bit?
I mean, in this time, I've only been awake for about 20 minutes. I'm not really feeling so tired, man. If you want some time to yourself, I can give you that.
Yeah. Kind of waves the box at you.
I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go in the other room and play around on my computer, find some games to play or something for a little bit. Then,
Yeah.
and I'll walk in the other room, fire up the computer, and just he starts hearing the clickety clack.
Dekard walks over to the desk, sets the box on the center of it, and wants to do a flashback as he's looking over whatever it is to see if he can try and recall the actual last day his wife was alive, and see if
Okay.
Lester influenced it in any way.
Okay. Describe an action carried out by your character in the past. Make a move for that action. The outcome of the move affects the current scene. Describe events from your character's backstory that become irrelevant now. The MC can award you with the juice or clue based on your description.
So I'm gonna do it as like an investigate, I suppose.
I mean, where is it? No, you just describe
just
an action that
specific,
you did in your past.
And then you just
Okay.
go for it.
Make a move for that action. You just roll.
Okay.
It's just a generic roll. Or to describe events from your backstory that become relevant now.
Yeah, I'm just like the last day. Let's do like the last hour where I go up and I'm checking on Carla because she's not doing so hot.
Flashing by, you were just getting off night shift. Somebody had called in sick and had to take the day off, so you got called back to work and had to do night shift. Had a rough night. Shit from the top, shit from the people you had to go check on. What was your roll?
6.
6. You're already in a kind of a bad mood. You get home, you walk upstairs. The house is not in great shape, but I mean, it's nothing that you're not used to and everything. And Carla's waiting on you when you get home and is up in bed, and she says, "Hey, how was your day?" Y'all have a little conversation and everything. Everything seems fine. She falls asleep. You go back downstairs. You get a phone call. It's the captain, and he just starts chewing your ass because you missed one detail on a call that you had went on, and it has the department now thinks it's going to be in part of a lawsuit. So coming down, he gets shit on, so you're getting shit on now. And it's, well, you better get your ass back up here, and I need you to file this report and do it. And like, you're just building with this anger and hate and everything else, and you're done with the job. You're pissed. You've been on the clock for 2 days now, and it's just, you're fucking done. And in that moment, you don't, like, you look down and your hands are bone and they're on fire, and then it's all gone. Essentially, her being sick and falling asleep, and you just being at this point, this breaking point with the job and the stress and her health and the stress and everything else, you just lose it. The next thing you remember is waking up outside, looking at the house burning.
Okay. As that finishes playing out in my mind, I open the box.
Inside the box,
Take that, you scrub! Yeah, suck it, nerds!
it's small. It's not a ring box. It's a little foldy box, like a little clasp on the front of it, but it's small. Inside of it is it's felt lined. There's a little cushion on the inside of it, and it has the little papers and everything inside of it. Setting front and center, right in the middle of it, tied down with the papers and everything, are the 2 wedding bands.
It just kind of grips them and just... little tear.
So, a couple hours later, at the beacon, Carla's sitting at her desk. Somebody sitting across the table from her, or across the desk from her. Asked her if she did it. Asked if she gave it back. She's pissed. Like, she's visibly upset. Like, she's accepted the fact that she had to do the thing and she did it, but now she's pissed. Like, she's way beyond, like, being upset or sad or anything about it. And she's like, yeah, I did it. I gave him the rings back. Mine and his from where I picked it up before. I don't know what that's supposed to do, but we're done. You're not welcome here anymore. And that's where we'll quit.
Ooh, the cutscene. The cutscene.